Okay, so I was just demonstrating how the diatonic is valuable to know how to play quickly. Okay, because if I play like an A minor, just off that A string, I just do the diatonic. Or just like string to string, 6 strings of it. Okay, then this. I'm emphasizing there. But you can see how the same scale allows you to play, and of course with the majors too. And instead of the G, the open G here, right? Well, I got it. I just played the next shape up for that G. That didn't sound so hot. So it was better to stick to this. Alright, and then the C. If you play pentatonic, you have to match the minors and the majors. So if I'm playing an A pentatonic, I want to play that C pentatonic. But the diatonic always works. Okay, so enough of that. That's why it's important to know how to play the diatonics. And I have the patterns for the different shapes, and we're going to cover that in the future. I'm not going to tell it when in the future, because it could be tomorrow, right? When I get that breakthrough, when I get comfortable with those open string chords in the cello, we're going to cover that. We're only going to go up about 2 or 3 double cages in the, I call it the cello now, but it's really the violin. We're going to play the different shapes, and we'll do all that stuff, all that good stuff. So I want to tell you, how do we memorize? And once again with the guitar, how did I memorize the diatonic shapes? So in the C box, it was S2L and S3L, and then just a C string on the top, C shape. Okay, in the A box, which is the next box up, how did we memorize that? That was just an A string, an A shape right there, right? G, because G, that starts the A shape, the G string, and then an S4L. Warp it up, and then an A shape on top. Okay, now we'll do one more. The G shape. The G shape is the big S5L. It's got 2 alias shapes on the bottom. It's got the A-shaped sandwich, the meat of the sandwich, and the alias on the other side, the other way on the top. Okay, and then a G shape on top. Actually, it's a 5-string pattern, and then we have the G shape on top. Remember, that top that goes the other way, okay, that's really an S2L on the top. Is just a single G pattern there. So you have a way to play the diatonics, aside from just doing the pentatonic, which I memorized. That was the first thing I learned when I started to get into guitar and pentatonics. So how do we memorize the, getting a little hot in here, how do we memorize the diatonic scale on the fiddle? And my way of looking at it is, you take the 7, the root, the half step intervals, and it makes like a 7/4 diagonal. Okay, so we make this 7/4 diagonal, but it's really the half step diagonal. So that may be how that works. So we're going to do just a regular, so we got the half step diagonal here. We're going to bring that half step up. So we've got 7 root, 3, 4, and then a repeat of that, backbone, and then 3, 4. So we've got okay, and then we just fill in the notes, right? I forgot the open string on the 3rd string there. It sounds terrible, but that's what it is. And you know, it's not going to sound terrible all the time, but it's just important to remember that you can play it from anywhere. You could start that from a C up here, or start it from a B, you know. So if you're starting it from a B, what is B the 5th of? B is the 5th of E, so this would be in the key of E. Start that same pattern, okay? Okay, so it's a little hard for me to see that right now, but it works, and that's the important thing. So you know, you make a little device that you can remember this pattern. Okay, pentatonically, the pattern's really easy. Okay, so pentatonically, we've just got it, you know, like an S4L wide shape. You know, where I explained that you can look at the whole and the minor third, you can look at that as just a half and a whole, similar to the S4L, and we played that. Okay, so that's how to memorize it. You just got the notes on one side and the notes on the other side, and that's really easy to play, right? And so I could play that from the E. Try it one more time. Okay, we got the notes on this side. Okay, now let's bring it up to the 6th of E. That would be the C sharp. I think what's getting me, this is like the curvature of the earth here, you know. I keep going off. My radar is looking at the tops of the clouds in Houston, you know. And that, they use that for 3-dimensional radar. They use that. They look at other cities. Like, we're looking at the radar here, but whoa, we're looking at the tippy tops of the clouds from Atlanta from here, you know. They use that. They network that data to get full cloud structure. Okay, so much for today's weather spot. So that was E. Okay. And that was the E pentatonic. Just thought I'd play that little melody, as silly as it is, stays in my head. So that was the chart before, and we have this little cage ladder here. We have to look at that, and we'll talk about the fingerings too, until the wife gets home, or until my meeting. Actually, I have a meeting in a half hour, but I think we got enough time to cover this. This is the double K.